Now broadcasting from his hidden bunker and fully stocked bar, it is the Saturday Report with Colt Sebastian Taylor.
Thank you and welcome once again, my friends, to the Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor, adventurer, entrepreneur, and amateur critter. Welcome to AWSM Radio, an independent digital-only radio station that plays today's best music, old school classics, along with a rotating cast of all-star DJs. AWSM Radio focuses on mainstream artists, independent artists, along with a variety of interesting talk and music shows throughout the day. All we do is entertain, inspire, and inform. And my friends, I want to engage with you. I want you to be part of the conversation. So, find me on the Twitter, on the Rizzle, on the Instagram, at Colt S. Taylor. Also, you can find me on Cameo, at Colt S. Taylor, as well as past shows at anchor.fm/Colt S. Taylor. Subscribe there if you can't make it on the weekends. And of course, you should be bookmarking ColtSebastianTaylor.com. All right, my friends, let's get started with this week's Saturday Report. First up this week, an update to a past story I did, had to be about 2 months ago. It was a mystery out in the Sierra National Forest. A couple, their 1-year-old child and dog, were found dead along a hiking trail. Very tragic story. But authorities could not quite figure out what they had died from. They were just there, kind of dead, like they had just dropped dead. All four of them. There were a lot of theories going around. Foul play was sort of ruled out because there's no marks on the body or anything like that. The area was in a place where there were a bunch of old mines, so they thought that maybe a toxic gas burst from a mine overwhelmed them, and that they were overcome by that. They thought maybe that a local algae bloom nearby had somehow contaminated the air, and they had just all passed out. Well, authorities believe now that it was heat exhaustion and exposure is what this group passed away from. They even thought that maybe all four were struck by lightning, and they were just there. But it turns out they believe it was hyperthermia and possible dehydration. Apparently, they had gone out to hike this about 6, 7, 8 mile hike through the Sierra National Forest. They were, experienced hikers and whatnot. But unfortunately, the temperatures that day got abnormally high. They were actually found only 1.5 miles from their parked car, which makes this even more tragic. But they were walking around, and when they left in the morning, it was only like 75 degrees outside. So warm, but comfortable walking weather. But by the time they reached their spot where they found them, they are estimating that the temperatures were almost 109 degrees, which was That's quite a bit. That is quite a bit. So it was very hot. They brought water with them, but not enough water for all four of them for that sort of temperatures. And also the part where they were found, apparently, completely exposed to sun. There used to be some brush, some cover there, but apparently a forest fire 3 years ago had burned away much of the possible canopy where they could take a rest and get out of the direct sunlight. But it turns out that they were out in the open, and there was nowhere they could get away from the sun, no matter what angle they were coming from. So it took about 2 months. For them to figure out what exactly was the cause of death. They said they brought 85 ounces of water with them, but it was not enough for that sort of summer walk. Still a little mysterious. This is their working theory right now. They think, it's very strange that they would be caught off guard by this. and whatnot. But friends, if you're going hiking, no matter what the season is, you definitely need to. I'm of the mindset you need to over prepare. Assume that I certainly do not go anywhere where I don't have a cell signal. I mean, I'm an adventurer, not a survivalist. But you do need to be careful. This is very rare that this stuff happens. You don't usually see this happen. I mean, people, pass away on hiking trails all the time and whatnot. They're usually inexperienced or getting in over their heads or some freak accident. But this is a strange one. This is a strange one. But hopefully, some closure for the families here. Now they finally figure out what exactly happened to this couple, the young child, and the dog. Apparently, got overwhelmed by nature and heat and passed away. So, fortunately, it wasn't like some crazy conspiracy theory, but tragic. But glad to see that authorities have been able to figure out what exactly happened here, so it can be avoided in the future. Next, we go to the coast of Israel, where a scuba diver has found an ancient sword. Believed to be from the time of the Crusades, while scuba diving off the coast, found a treasure trove of ancient items, including anchors, pottery, and a 3-foot long sword. The scuba diver thought that the shifting sands of the waves would bury things all over again, so he took the sword with him, immediately called the authorities, and the Israel's Antiquities Authority said that this is probably a sword that's over 900 years old, which is crazy. Now, obviously, this is a radio program. I can't show you, but the picture of this sword, it is completely encrusted with marine life, like shells and coral reef, and it looks like a sword made of sand and shells, but it apparently is. A sword has iron and whatnot, and has been sitting there for 900 years, and the sea life have overtaken it and turned it into basically a coral reef on a sword. It is pretty amazing. Usually don't find these sort of things. I can't ever remember someone finding a sword like this. There was a story a few years ago about a child finding a sword in the swamp, and everyone was kidding that this is now the king of Great Britain. But pretty amazing stuff. They're going to do an archaeological dig in the area. It's off the coast, so they kind of be careful with the sands and whatnot. But they were going to probably put it in a museum. The sword's going to be cleaned and analyzed, and then the diver, whose name is Shalomi Katzin, was given a certificate of appreciation for immediately calling authorities and alerting them about this ancient artifact. And like I said, you need to look it up. It looks pretty cool. I mean, it looks like a sword you would discover after fighting someone in a Dungeons and Dragons campaign, which I've been playing lately, so that's kind of like my mindset. But pretty amazing stuff. No word if it gives them like a +3 fight against aquatic animals. But wow, amazing. I love history, so that's just me. But amazing that something like that can be found 900 years later, and it's going to be in a museum. So if you're visiting wherever museum they put old swords in Israel, you will probably see the sword in a couple years. Moving along, friends, do you like oil rigs? Do you like 5-star restaurants? Do you like an extreme park fun? Well, guess what? Pretty soon you'll be able to go to an extreme amusement park that's built on several oil rigs off the coast of Saudi Arabia. That's right, they're making a theme park called The Rig. They're going to convert an oil rig into a 100,000 square meter extreme park located in the Arabian Gulf. It's going to be the park is going to have 3 hotels, 11 restaurants. It's going to have a roller coaster, skydiving, bungee jumping, other adrenaline rush related things where you can zip line, I guess, between oil rigs. Have an underwater restaurant. There's a water slide. I'm looking at the renderings here right now, and there'll be places for cruise ships to dock, helicopters to land, It's going to be basically a big old entertainment complex built onto three different oil rigs off the coast of Saudi Arabia. So it's interesting. It's going to be a very unique tourism attraction. It's supposed to be popular with other visitors. They're kind of aiming for visitors from that area to come who are very familiar with oil rigs and whatnot. There's no date for opening yet, but this is a concept that they are going to begin working on. There's a lot of renderings and whatnot. They plan to have, concerts and fireworks there. So, as Saudi Arabia tries to move away from its oil economy to diversify, this is one of many things that will be they're working on. This announcement comes a few months after a planned Six Flags park plans to be opened in Saudi Arabia. They are also constructing, it's being built part of a new city situated outside the capital of Riyadh. It's going to be home to the world's fastest roller coaster, the Six Flags park, when it opens in 2023. So they're trying to get away from oil and more entertaining. And the rig, the place to go for cruise lines and helicopters to have a hotel or have some sushi while whining and dining. Well, probably not whining, but while dining on a former oil rig coming to Saudi Arabia. So, I would probably check it out. Probably a little pricey to fly to Saudi Arabia and then get myself to this oil rig and whatnot. But if I was paid to do so, I would definitely check it out and give you a full report. Maybe we can put that in the budget in 2024 for the show, is to send me for some on-site reporting for my show. We'll see. I'll have to talk to management. But anyways, the rig coming soon. Your go-to extreme park in the Arabian Gulf. We now go to Haiti, and you may have heard of this in the news, but maybe not. But 18 missionaries have been kidnapped by a Haitian gang, demanding $1 million per person. 17 members of a U.S. Christian missionary group is being held hostage, and the gang wants $1 million per person, and if not, they will apparently start executing them. There are 16 Americans, 1 Canadian, 5 children, and they want $1 million per hostage in this. They released a video this week that has not been confirmed by news agencies, but the State Department is pretty sure that's the gang. The man speaking in the video is apparently the leader of the gang, Wilson Joseph. They were kidnapped near an orphanage last Saturday, and the ransom was made shortly after that. Haiti is things are rough there. Things have been rough there for a long time. But the earthquake about a decade ago, earlier this year, the president was assassinated. There's still a lot of questions surrounding that. There was an earthquake a little bit after that. Different part of the country. The security situation there basically is deteriorating daily. Apparently that drivers who are driving aid around the country need to pay these gangs extortion money in order to safely operate. But it is just getting rougher and rougher down there all the time. With that said, some international aid groups have pulled out of Haiti because of the security situation. But the International Medical Relief and Doctors Without Borders still has not. They're trying their best to work with the situation down there to provide the medical care to the Haitian people. And this is seeing where this is going. The FBI is down there working with authorities in Port-au-Prince to try to secure the release of these hostages. They range in age from 18 to 48, and the children range between the ages of 8 months and 15. So, rough situation down there. Something I'll be following very closely. I definitely would not recommend visiting. Apparently, there's even before the pandemic, there was a you might not want to go to Haiti warning from the State Department because of the rampant poverty, natural disasters, corruption, political unrest. There is a high chance for foreign nationals and even Haitians risking the chance of being kidnapped and held for ransom daily, according to several news reports. So I'll keep tabs on this to see if these hostages get released, hopefully. And hopefully this will be resolved in a way that sees them come home. But one of many stories I'm following for you here on the Saturday Report. Moving along, friends. So you know that they name hurricanes. That's a widely accepted thing. Within the last, I would say within the last 5, 7, 8 years, some weather outfits, like the Weather Channel, have started to name winter storms. The thought of giving these winter storms names will help people pay attention to them in the news and public in order to make sure they take them seriously. So, talking about Winter Storm Kyle or Winter Storm blah blah blah, just to there's a big winter storm coming, so big that decided to give it a name. This isn't just some little flurries. That part is a bit controversial. Some people say it's the commercialization or sensationalization of weather and whatnot. I think, personally, it's a good idea. It does get people to pay attention to said storm. But a town in Spain, I believe the town of Seville in Spain, is the first major city in the world to start naming heat waves and giving them a category number to help save lives. So, they'll start this in 2022. If they predict a big heat wave coming, they're going to rate it on a scale and give it a name. So like heat wave Azo or heat wave other names and whatnot. I don't know what names they're using over there in Spain, what the popular names are, but they're hoping this catches on, okay? And as a way to sort of warn people about extreme heat waves that could be, pushing through an area. I mean, we all see on the news, here comes a heat wave, extreme heat. But if it reaches a certain metric, like this is a really dangerous heat wave, giving it a name, people might start paying a bit more attention to it. For example, last summer, you may remember the heat wave in the Pacific Northwest, where temperatures were over 100 degrees for a really long time in many parts of the Pacific Northwest, some of the hottest temperatures ever recorded in the Pacific Northwest. They think that 800 people in that area died due to heat-related illnesses and exhaustion. That's a lot of people passing away due to heat. And they're thinking maybe if they give it a name, heat wave Carl or whatever, that could be cut down. That people might pay attention. Like, I could mow the lawn today for 8 hours, but, heat wave Carl's coming. I may want to wait until, it's nighttime to do that. Might start saving some lives just by labeling a heat wave. I, personally, don't think it's a terrible idea. It's not like people are making money off of naming things. Yes, you might see people watch more news, but the idea is to get people educated about a dangerous weather condition. And as temperatures start to get a little hotter and heat waves are coming in a little more frequently, may not be such a terrible idea to adopt this all over. So this will go into effect next year in Seville, in Spain. See how it goes, and other cities may just adopt it. I hope it goes well. Speaking of heat waves and hotness, even though that system has not been implemented here in the United States, I am declaring a level 3 heat wave for this station on Fridays at 9 p.m. and Sundays at 10 p.m. It's a double heat wave thingy, because my pal DC is bringing the hotness to his show, DC Live in Effect. He is our in-house DJ here at AWSM Radio, and he, as the times may suggest, mixes it up. Fridays at 9, Sundays at 10 p.m. You do not want to miss out when he smashes it on the ones and twos, kicking the heated, hot beats from his South Florida compound every single week. You will not want to miss it. So, my friends, pour yourself an ice cold glass of water, turn on your AC, and listen to the heated beats of DC live in effect right here on AWSM Radio. Next, friends, we go to the world of Hollywood. Uma Thurman will be playing Ariana Huffington in a new Showtime series, Super Pumped, based on the rise of Uber. Apparently, Ariana Huffington was a board member on Uber. And it's going to be following the rise of the company and the founders and the sort of tumultuous relationship with their mentor and whatnot, and kind of show a roller coaster ride, according to the statement, of the upstart transportation company embodying the highs and lows of Silicon Valley. The series will focus on major business world story each season. So Super Pumped is going to be focusing on Uber this season, and I guess if it goes well, it will pop over. It will pop over to a different business for a different season. According to executive vice president of scripted programming for Showtime, which is where this will air on, Amy Israel, she says in a statement, "We have been eager to work with Uma Thurman for a long time, and we're thrilled to have her. We're thrilled to have found the perfect role for her in Ariana Huffington, a role which Uma will lead her innate complexity, intelligence, and magnetism. Uma, Joseph, and Kyle, and our incredible ensemble cast will undoubtedly bring this propulsive, culture-defying, wildly entertaining story of Super Pumped to life. We can't wait for the world to see it." Also stars Elizabeth Shue and, I believe, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, which I'm a fan of myself. Uma Thurman, who you may remember from Kill Bill, Pulp Fiction. She was actually also in a Batman movie. She's done more recent roles in the Netflix series Chamber. Also was in The Slap and Imposters. And she is next set to star in the series Suspicion for Apple. So good for her. So check it out on Showtime. Coming soon, Uma Thurman as Ariana Huffington. Now some tragic entertainment news. Apparently this week, while filming the movie Rust, as a Western, actor Alec Baldwin, using a prop firearm, it misfired, and accidentally killed a cinematographer and wounded a director on the set. And not sure what exactly happened yet. Details are very fresh. I don't have all the details right now. But unfortunately, 2 people were shot, and cinematographer Helena Hutchins was killed, unfortunately, in the accident. And that's a lot of interesting questions going on. What exactly happened? There's some pictures of him looking very distraught on the phone and whatnot, and it's very rare that this would happen. When they fire guns on movies, generally speaking, these are special guns that only shoot blanks. You usually don't have any more where you have real guns shooting blank cartridges, because even shooting blanks, the gas and the fragments of the blank can hurt and injure. In fact, if you're within 20 feet of a gun shooting a blank, you could be hurt by it through the gases and the projectiles, fragments of the blank. Usually it's fine, but for maximum safety, you should never point even a gun with a blank at people or be near the muzzle when it goes off. It's not the first time this has happened. For those older members of the Saturday Report with Colt Sebastian Taylor, 1993, Brandon Lee, son of martial arts icon Bruce Lee, was shot and killed with a gun. It was thought to have been loaded with blanks. The sort of ruling with that, I believe, is that a piece of a blank or of a piece of a bullet got stuck in the barrel of the gun, and then when a blank went off, it got dislodged and shot out like a bullet, striking him and killing him. And then in 1984, actor John Eric Hexum, who was a actor on the show The Cover-Up, died when he put a 44 Magnum loaded with blanks and played a mock game of Russian roulette. He did not fully understand the dangers of blank cartridges, so pulled the trigger, and the impact and the gases against his head caused him to die as well. So it's pretty sad, pretty intense. Don't have a whole lot of details of what exactly happened, whether it was a gun that was not properly maintained, fell off and went off. Not a lot of details. I'll probably follow up with this story next week. Obviously, the filming of the movie has halted. Not sure if it will continue. Probably will if they've gotten this far into it. Even when Brandon Lee died on the set of The Crow, which is the movie, they continued filming that movie with a body double so they could finish the movie. And in the series The Cover-Up, when the actor passed away, they wrote into the story that he had died off screen and brought in another actor to finish out the season. So very, very sad news about this cinematographer passing away after being apparently accidentally shot by actor Alec Baldwin. So her name was Helena Hutchins. And then also the director was also injured as well, but she is expected to survive. So I will have an update for this story for you next week, friends. See what exactly is going on here at this movie set in, I believe, New Mexico. Sad story. Moving along, and also in other entertainment news, Ruby Rose, who was the main actor for the Batwoman show, who left after one season, they came out with a story this week that they left the show. They were fired from the show, while the studio says that they did not renew their option for a second season due to complaints about workplace behavior. But Ruby Rose says that it is a terrible place to work. Apparently, there were multiple accidents. She broke her neck, and they told them that they had to come back immediately, or they would fire all the crew and blame them for the firing of them and shutting down the show. During COVID-19, they did not take a whole lot of precautions in there, and Ruby Rose is very concerned about her health, especially after she broke her neck. So Ruby Rose, they posted on their Instagram this week about all the terrible things that happened. Ruby Rose wrote, "I will come for you, so what happened to me never happens in person again. And so I will finally take back my life and the truth. Shame on you." They continued, "To my dear fans still asking if I return to this awful show, I would return for any amount of money, nor to a gun to my head, nor did I quit. I did not quit. They ruined Kate Kane and destroyed Batwoman. Not me. I followed orders, and I wanted to stay. I was going to have to sign my rights away. Any threats, any bullying, tactics, or blackmail would not make me stand down." So, sounds pretty awful place to work. They posted a pretty strong statement. Obviously, Warner Brothers didn't have any comments about that. Warner Brothers said that Ruby Rose was let go because of her workplace behavior, but sounds like Ruby Rose did not want to put up with what was going on there. It was too dangerous for them to work there, so they fired her. They fired them and whatnot. So I tend to believe Ruby Rose. It sounds like there have been many complaints about the CW and other shows like that as well. Now, apparently on the show, The Batwoman, a crew member suffered third-degree burns. A production assistant was left quadriplegic after another accident, and the CW apparently initially declined to pay for this production assistant's medical bills, and the production assistant had to start a GoFundMe. That caused a lot of negative press. which I believe Ruby Rose sort of pushed into the limelight, and they finally decide to pay for it. Oh, actually, Warner Brothers did issue a statement. They said, despite the revisionist history that Ruby Rose is now sharing online aimed at the producers, the cast, crew, network, and the studio, the truth is that Warner Brothers Television has decided not to exercise the option to engage Ruby for the season 2 of Bad Woman based on multiple complaints about workplace behavior that were extensively reviewed and handled privately out of respect for all concerned. So, I don't know. I'm still thinking Ruby Rose is the truth teller here. Especially there, someone was burned, an accident. You usually don't have a quadriplegic accident on a set of a TV show. Seems like safety was not a number one action there at the moment. No, don't think so. Don't think so. Next up, breaking news, friends. Here on the Saturday Report, I've never done live breaking news before. There's another heat wave coming, and it's coming next week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Experts predict that this heat wave will be at 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. when the Rock Sessions broadcast. That's right. My friend Rox, my lovely friend Rox, causes heat waves wherever she goes and wherever she broadcasts, and you can catch it. This drive time show that she's going to make sure that your evening commute home is fun, featuring the hottest music on the charts and some other warm surprises in between. She will make it rock style. So, get yourself all cooled down and get ready for some hot music and some hot gossip with the Rock Sessions, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., right here on AWSM Radio. Moving along, friends, to the world of social media. If you're like some people, you miss seeing Donald Trump on Twitter. He was banned after the January 6th attempted insurrection coup, and has been banned from Facebook, Instagram, Twitter ever since then. I don't even think he has a Pinterest. Well, he is announcing the launch of his own social media platform called Truth. Truth, it is coming soon, promising a place where people can speak their minds without being censored whatsoever. It's going to be created through a new company called Trump Media and Technology Group, which Donald Trump will be the president of said company. In a statement, Trump says, "We live in a world where Taliban has a huge presence on Twitter, yet your favorite American president has been silenced, despite me reading this online. This is unacceptable. I'm excited to send out my first truth on Truth Social very soon. TMTG was founded with a mission to give voice to all. I'm excited to soon begin sharing my thoughts on Truth Social to fight against big tech." Now, allow me to pontificate. That word now. Let me on my soapbox here. I find it amusing. That lots of people say that they're being censored, that they can't get their truth out there, that there is no place on social media for anyone. And yet, you have Gab, you have Parler, to the sort of the first original alternative conservative social media platforms. Parler was knocked offline for about a few weeks after it was found that they were was being used to coordinate the January 6th insurrection. Fun fact, they were hacked and all their information got scooped up by the FBI. Then after that, Jason Miller, noted pile of garbage, launched Getter, which was a social media platform, and Jason Miller actually works for Donald Trump. He works for Donald Trump. And now Donald Trump has launched this, the fourth social media platform for right-leaning people who feel that Twitter and Facebook, Instagram is just a communist wasteland. So now there are four social media platforms where if you got yourself thrown off of Twitter, you could go and you could, speak your truth. Fun fact, a lot of people are kind of bored with these platforms because it's just one big echo chamber. They can't, quote unquote, own people or pwn people because they're just talking to people that exactly say what they're saying. So I don't really think anyone's really all that silenced. You do have other platforms which you could join. Granted, security is terrible and they get hacked all the time. But there are other platforms. Now, with this Truth Social, it's supposed to be a place for free speech, but they released a terms and service agreements where you're really not allowed to criticize the owners or moderators of Truth Social or say anything that they feel to be objectionable, then they'll boot your account. So, while it's a haven for free speech, it's not completely free speech. They're still a company, just like all the other companies that kick people off. So we'll see how that goes. Gab and Parler and Getter are kind of, I would say, racked with a whole lot of toxic personalities on there. A lot of anti-Semitism, just a lot of transphobic, homophobic anti-Semitism. They're just packed with there's a lot going on there. Not to mention ridiculous conspiracy theories that Donald Trump will be president by Thanksgiving due to something that was written in invisible ink on the back of the Constitution that only Nicolas Cage can see. I don't know what the most popular theory is right now. But anyways, coming soon, Truth. Truth is coming. Will I join? I don't know. Maybe. Just to see what's going on there. But probably not. Fun fact, you know what the main newspaper in Russia is called? It's called Pravda, which is Russian for truth. Go figure. So keep tuned for that breakthrough in social media platforms. Truth, Donald Trump's new social media platform coming soon. Side note, fun fact, the company that he is pairing with is owned by a Chinese billionaire, so I guess blaming China is situational at best. Something I have no problem or hesitation about joining is a great show here on AWSM Radio called Married to the Game. It's our sports show here. It airs every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, featuring Brian, Joe, and Mac Daddy, who will bring their insights, analytics, and expertise to the table week in and week out. And what kind of sports show would it be without a little trash talking in between? So you need to tune in to catch up on the week of all things sports on Married to the Game. Follow them on Instagram, Joe at Turn Up the Jets, Nick at the Mac Daddy Ryan Show, Brian at bolstered_up_sports. Hardest one for me to say every week. And the show itself, MTTG, Married to the Game Radio, all on Instagram. Listen to it for all things sports. Wednesdays at 9 p.m., Married to the Game, right here on AWSM Radio. Next up, friends. Wait, what? Holy moly. We are out of time. Wow. This week went really fast. We coming up to the end of our show, so my friends, I hope you're having a delightful weekend. Fall is here in some parts of the United States. You might see some leaves changing. Other parts of the world, well, it's either always cold or always hot. So I think I have all of my demographics covered now. But anyways, thank you for joining me here today, friends. That wraps up today's show, the Saturday Report with Colt Sebastian Taylor. Thank you for joining me. And remember, you can find me on the Twitter, on the Rizzle, and on the Instagram at Colt S. Taylor. Also on Cameo at Colt S. Taylor if you want a personalized greeting. And if you haven't already, if you've missed past shows, subscribe to the podcast version of the show at anchor.fm Colt S. Taylor to listen to it on all of your preferred podcasting services. And finally, bookmark ColtSebastianTaylor.com and follow me to have conversations with me. Let me know if I missed something. Always want to be part of the show. And I hope you enjoyed this week's show as much as I did. Until next week, my friends, I am, of course, your friend, Colt Sebastian Taylor, and I'll see you later.